Hi, I'm licensed marriage and family therapist Joe Follette Jr. And you again with this 8th video. In this series, I'm sharing what it takes to become a sizzling hot marriage. In order to have a sizzling hot marriage, you've got to get a sizzle mindset. A sizzle mindset represents 8 levels of intimacy a couple must achieve to become all that God intended for them to be. These 8 levels of intimacy are being committed, being flexible, being available, being calm, being talkative, being sexy, being mindful, and being God-centered. But today, we're going to talk about the 8th sizzle mindset, being God-centered. You won't believe the difference making God the center of your personal life and your marriage will have on the quality of your marriage. God has a bad rap these days. Many have had such a bad experience with church and church people that they have decided to back away altogether from spirituality. But those who refuse to develop their spiritual side are missing out on an opportunity for personal growth. Expanding our mind's eye to see and hear from God will take your life to the next level. God created you with a desire to have a relationship with you. You don't think He just came from nowhere, do you? You were not an accident. Your chromosomes and your DNA were designed by an intelligent God who has plans for your life. Even if some bad things have happened to you, God is still working in your life and working out His plan for you. You are here for a reason. The most important reason is because God delights in you and wants you to delight in Him. Just like you want to delight in your spouse and you want your spouse to delight in you, that relationship is a symbol of the kind of relationship, the marriage, that God wants to have with us. Much like you feel when someone else takes credit for your work, God feels when you don't turn to Him for things outside your circle. Finding that reason and purpose and learning to live up to your Creator's standard is a very rewarding adventure. Opening up to God will make you a better person and help you build a better marriage. I've seen over the years, those who are open to God have shown a much greater commitment to their marriage and a greater commitment to working to make it better than others. Even though these couples may have some heavy grievances against each other, they are more able to acknowledge their wrongs and reinvest in their marriage. God works on their open hearts to transform their mindset. I believe in the power of God to change a heart. I partner with God in transforming marriages. God created marriage and designed the family around marriage. God sets the standard for how we are to treat our spouses and play our roles in marriage. Without God at the center, we will make a multitude of mistakes. Keep focused on God through family worship and constantly praying together. One of my favorite authors, Ellen White, says, as a couple grows closer to Jesus Christ, the closer they become to each other. As you pay close attention to hearing and heeding the voice of God, your heart and behavior changes. As you become more like Christ, you become a better lover. No one is perfect, but as you become more like Christ, you get better. It was God who told me that I wasn't loving my wife when I was arguing with her. God made me look at myself rather than continue to point the finger at my wife. I had set myself as the standard for my wife. What a mistake. It is amazing how we can be so blind to our faults when we are pointing out the faults of others. I stopped the conversation I was having with my wife about her behavior and started having a conversation with God about my behavior. Over the course of several months, God changed my heart and I became a much happier person and a much nicer person to live with. Even though my marriage was not all I wanted it to be, the constant bickering was gone. We were growing because I was growing and my wife was growing. As I raised my standard of behavior, my marriage got better. That is how God changes a marriage, by changing you. When God changes both of you, your marriage gets sweet as molasses. Both of you are operating under the same authority. A strong spiritual connection provides a deep level of spiritual intimacy in marriage. Placing God at the center of your heart puts God at the center of your marriage. He sets the standards, not you. Work to come together in your beliefs about God and identify the standards to which you will seek to establish in your marriage. If you're confused about spiritual things, do your research, study, seek God, and you will find Him. He will reveal Himself to you. You will eventually hear His still, soft voice speaking to you. Being God-centered is the highest level of intimacy a couple can establish. Now take a minute and evaluate yourself on how God-centered you are, from 0 to 100%. Where are you in your God-centeredness, in your relationship with God? Do you want to learn more? I want to invite you to attend my upcoming How to Get Our Sizzle Back webinar. In this webinar, I will share what you must accomplish to get those in-love feelings back. I'll go into details about the 8 levels of intimacy so you can have a better understanding of it. Many couples ask me how they can get that spark, that sizzle back after it's gone. Well, I'm not going to lie and tell you it's easy, but it is possible. I see it happening with the couples who work with me. If both of you do the things I'll share in this webinar, those feelings will come back. You may be wondering if your marriage can be saved, how to get on the same page sexually, or how to improve your communication with each other. You must register to attend. Go to webinar.lifestyletherapycoach.com. That's webinar.lifestyletherapycoach.com, or click the button below. Well, that brings us to the end of my 8-video series on building a sizzle mindset. I hope you really enjoyed it and gotten a lot out of it. If you'd like to learn more about deepening your marital intimacy, get a copy of my Sizzle Mindset book and workbook. You can start working on your marriage today. Make sure you share with a friend as well. God bless you. I look forward to seeing you in the upcoming webinar.